Everyone shut up! This is important. Come with me. So I wanted to talk about this because when it was announced, I was tweeted at about it by, and I'm being generous here, roughly 1 billion people. And after seeing it, it's worth talking about. It's a Kickstarter for an all-new game called Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes. But ProJared, it's just another Kickstarter for another indie game. Who cares? This is not just another Kickstarter for any old game. The team behind this, Rabbit and Bear Studios, has several notable people in it behind the classic Suikoden games. And Eiyuden Chronicles is a spiritual successor to Suikoden. But ProJared, what the heck is a Suikoden? I've talked about this. Did you not watch all my videos, you fake fan? Like 5 years ago, I did a video called the top 10 best JRPGs not from Square Enix. And at number 1, and it still holds true to this day, is Suikoden 2. The absolute gem of a PlayStation 1 RPG, and I still love it. It still holds up, it's still amazing. I'd even argue that it's easily the best Suikoden game by far. There hasn't been a new main series Suikoden game since 2006. Why? Because it's an intellectual property owned by Konami. Yeah, it's not coming back unless it returns as like Suikoden Survive. All of that is easily why I'm excited for this game, and I've barely begun to talk about it. For what seems like at least a decade, we've had a string of indie RPG games that's been harkening back to the SNES and SNES era, which is great, which I love that, but a game designed to call back to the excellent PS1 era of RPGs. We need more of that, especially from such an experienced team who made a lot of PS1 era RPGs. I could talk it up for ages, but talk only does so much. Even when I was talking about it with others when it was first announced, I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. Well, I'll check it out. Yeah, all right, sure. But then, I saw what they already have. It cranked my excitement dial to 11. Check this out. Oh, yes! Incredible detailed pixel art for the characters, 3D environments, dynamic camera movements for in battle and out. Seeing this is what made me go all in. This looks so incredible. I'm really glad they had proof of concept to show and not just talking it up. Being able to see it in action invokes enthusiasm far more than anything else. Thankfully, there's plenty of additional screenshots and artwork to further show what they're going for, such as this. Look at this. 6 character parties, 3 in the front row, 3 in the back row, and a sleeping cat. This is unabashedly meant to be a successor to Suikoden, specifically Suikoden 2. This battle system is visually identical, and the screenshots seem to suggest that they have more varied setups for important battles. They haven't talked at length at what the battle mechanics are going to be like. They've already said, quote, this is the tip of the iceberg for what they've shown. So we know there's lots more to come. For example, the duels from Suikoden will be in Eiyuden Chronicles in some form, as it was a Kickstarter stretch goal that has been reached. Outside of the combat stuff, there's actually a lot here about the story and non-combat gameplay. There's a lot of artwork for the main heroes and a few characters that will join them, and their designs are great. Like, look at this guy. That's just Jowery, right? Like, they're unapologetically saying, we want to make a game that looks like and is as good as Suikoden 2. Speaking of, just like that game, Eiyuden Chronicles is promising a huge amount of characters that will join your team. Its subtitle is 100 Heroes for a reason, but not every single one of them is going to be a playable party member, as a lot of them end up being support mechanics or additional unlocks for your player-run fortress. So, much like the castles that acted as a home base previously, now there's a fortress town. They did mention taking care of farms, building a restaurant, getting a blacksmith for weapon improvements, recruiting troops, and reinforcing walls to fend off invader attacks. Which that suggests to me that maybe they'll bring back the tactical army minigames of Suikoden 2, but that's just my own guess. I have no insider info on that. Now, something I truly appreciate and am glad to see in the Kickstarter description already is the developers talking about how much they want to show appreciation to the community, especially fans of the Suikoden series. And that brings me to right here, right now, with you. In between seeing this Kickstarter, when it was first announced, and already wanting to talk about it, to right now, I was contacted by the developers of Eiyuden Chronicles. They've known about how much I loved Suikoden 2 and asked me if I would also let you know about their new project. And I said, yeah, absolutely, no, sure, no problem. Can I help? Do you need anything? Snacks? Drink? My soul? They've also said to help promote this community with Eiyuden Chronicles, with us backing the game and supporting them, they will include an in-game item of my creation. That sounds awesome, but I don't want to do it alone, so that's why I'm bringing it up with you. I want to make something together. I don't want to make anything generic or boring. I really want to do something that's indicative of myself and everyone who watches my videos. Something iconic. Something that when it's discovered in-game, we can easily nod and say, oh yeah, that's the ProJared item that the fans came up with. I want to do that. I am not being paid any money to make this video. In fact, it's the opposite because I am paying them. Literally right now, as we speak, I am pledging to them $108. $1 for each hero in the game. I know it says there's 100 heroes, but like, come on, you guys can hide like 8 more somewhere in there, right? For old time's sake. I'm not certain when the actual item creation will take place, but I mean it when I say I want to do it together. Likely coming up with ideas on stream with the chat, refining them, and then working with the developer to see what works for them. So please, consider supporting Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes, because it looks like everything I could hope for in a Suikoden sequel, because that's what they want to achieve. Everything I've seen looks so promising, so fantastic. I believe in them. I really hope you like what you see too. Somewhat related, I know this is a weird off-topic video for me since I usually don't cover current events or gaming news like this or whatever, but let me know if this is something you dig or want to see more of. Sincerely, I mean that too. Let me know. In the comments down below, Twitter, Twitch, whatever. I'm always looking for new ways of expanding the channel and going beyond my usual shtick. Until then, while you wait for the next ProJared video, check out this Kickstarter, and then go freaking play Suikoden 2 so you can see what all the hype is about.